Let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Some decisions.
Okay.
Just made some decisions on Allen West. We'll get to that in a little bit. But what do you guys think if La Raza
Yeah.
said that in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters as being part of an occupied people, we, La Raza, believe that the United States illegally, irresponsibly stole our land, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, a couple of hundred years ago, just like Israel stole Gaza. So, in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters, starting on Monday, La Raza will begin firing missiles from Mexico into... La Raza is a Mexican movement where the revolutionaries believe that the United States illegally took Mexican land and they want it back. And if they have to cause a revolution to get it, they'll cause a revolution to get it. But what would you folks think, the listeners and the viewers, if La Raza started shooting missiles that were 10 feet long, about 18 inches wide, with a warhead and shrapnel into El Paso, Albuquerque, San Diego, and everybody's running in bomb shelters, and thousands of missiles are coming? What would you think?
Well, what does La Raza actually stand for, Tom?
Yeah.
La Raza, the race.
The race.
The race of what?
The race.
The race.
The Latino race. And it's kind of taken a symbolic meaning of the people. The Mexican people need their rights. They want their country back. They want California, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. They want it back. It's that simple.
And they're disenfranchised people, correct?
And they're going to start shooting missiles. What would the liberal mindset, what would people think if they started doing that? Well, and that's not even close to the analogy of Israel, who owned the land, was pushed out of the land, kept a remnant of people for 4,000 years in the land, and then the world said you need to have your own homeland. And never in the history of the world has a dispossessed people, a diaspora, people that were pushed out of their homeland, having to live for 2,000 years, ever reunited. It's a miracle of God that Israel even exists today. So it's very futile in one sense for the enemies of Israel, particularly Islam, to fight against, God's providential call in life. That's the way the world is. So, but here we are. 8 minutes past 5 o'clock.
But that's just hypothetical. That doesn't really happen.
I know. 8 minutes past 5 o'clock on WNN 1470 on the radio side. You're with Tom Trento, Mark CJ. This is National Security Radio. For those of you just joining in, for a couple of months we've been on the air here, and in particular we were providing information before November 6th to assist Americans to vote intelligently on November 6th, and that means to defeat President Obama on a national security basis. We lost. America decided they want him as commander-in-chief. They want him heading up the military. They want him negotiating with world leaders. They want him leading the world to make a safer place. They want him bowing to kings and potentates in Saudi Arabia. They want him apologizing for America's anti-colonialist reach. They want him... We lost. You guys won, okay?
Well, America lost, and the
Yes.
whole free world lost.
Well, on your screen, you have a little Mozart for you, which
we do.
has little I won, I won, I won, I won, with the donkey smiling.
Okay, that's perfect, actually. That party won, and I don't know how long ago. Today's the 16th, 10 days ago. 10 days ago, all this happened, and
Yeah.
we have America's top general testifying under oath that he didn't blow, government secrets, and we have Israel ready to attack a country that's attacking it, or a land. I mean, we have the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood now going after Israel. We have Syria. Oh, this is just
And our worst calamity of all the calamities that happened since then is that
Is
Twinkies are gone.
Oh my God.
it's the end of
It's
the
the end.
Twinkies,
It's the end
folks.
of Hostess.
I'm caressing a Hostess cupcake.
Why? Because there were no Twinkies left on the shelf.
We couldn't
folks.
find any Twinkies.
There are no more Twinkies. But
You,
that's okay because they last for 1,000 years. So if you still have any in your pantry, and you preppers,
Put
if
them
you
in your
have
stock
any in your
pool for you.
basement, you're in good shape.
the BCTCM Corporation has decided that it can no longer fight the unions who want increased everything. So they are closing Twinkie Land here, Hostess Cupcakes.
Give a quick synopsis on that.
How many? Well, very simple. The company wasn't doing well, so they had to start making cuts. The labor unions didn't want to make them. Actually, the major labor union agreed with the
Right.
cuts.
Right.
And then there were some subsidiary bakeries and all of this.
It was the Bakers Union wouldn't.
We're not doing it. And
Yeah.
then the company wasn't in a position to have a protracted battle with
Right.
scabs and this and that. They said, you know what?
We're going out of
We're,
business.
we're going to file bankruptcy, sell off
Yeah.
our assets. We got other stuff to
Yeah.
do.
And you-
18,000.
Yeah, 18,500 workers getting thrown out of work because a union comprising 5,000 of those workers decided that not only were they, forget even just taking cuts in pay or benefits, they were insisting on getting more pay and more benefits. So it wasn't even like they would even consider just keeping it at status quo. So now, not only do all those 5,000 union members have no jobs, but another 13,500 of their fellow union members
Don't have jobs either.
don't have jobs either.
And-
What is it, 34 plants? 34 plant
32 or 34.
34 plants,
Yeah.
something like that, closing. That's not just those workers out of work. That's all those
The
towns
residual
where
impact
those,
is
the
amazing.
residual
You know,
impact
and
of
on the
that.
flip
Because those
side-
people were paying money to go to a bar and eat dinner, and that's going to cut
And
back.
They're
and
not
the-
going out
and
to
the argument-
eat, and they're not paying property taxes, and so now the schools in those areas will go down. I mean,
And the argument is that, well, the greedy executives, they wanted to double their pay and make $200,000 a year. You know what? Honestly, I could care less what either one of them make, whether the unions make double the amount of their pay or the executives make double the amount of their pay or the owner makes $15 million a year. It really doesn't matter. The bottom line is there's no more Twinkies. Okay? There's no more cupcakes. There's no more ho-hos. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is
Yeah.
because this is the pattern you're going to see. When management and the unions cannot agree and there's no profit motive at the end result for both of
Right.
them,
right.
for both of them, what happens? You're going to see people in Broward County, you're going to see your cigarettes disappearing, you're going to see all your gas prices going up, everything just starts disappearing, and that's the problem with socialism. You start seeing shortages and outages, just like there's no more Twinkies to be found around town right now. Okay?
Oh, well,
So,
maybe.
bottom line is there's no more Twinkies. I don't
Okay.
care what the dispute
All right.
is.
That's the Twinkie update.
Well, you may get lucky. You may get lucky on that because they may, in bankruptcy proceedings, they may be able to
Well, they'll sell it off until they.
sell it off. Well, and maybe somebody else will start making Twinkies.
Yeah, but there's not going to be any big union contracts or
All
disputes.
right,
or
enough
anything.
of the Twinkie.
All right, enough of that. Do you
Well,
want to talk
and
to
I-
Roger?
and
That's the end result.
I grew up on Twinkies too,
I've never had a Twinkie.
but I never.
But I did have a bite of a ho-ho today, and
You found it disgusting.
yeah, that was really
Oh, it's a little sweet,
revolting.
but I never saw this little disclaimer: not fit for human consumption. I didn't know they had that on there. What's that all about? But in any event, it's 5:15.
Not actually a food product.
It's 5:15 on TrentoVision.tv, and if you're sitting in the comfort of your home, sipping a little red wine and relaxing.
Then you're luckier than we are.
You can watch the insanity here, or if you're driving in your automobiles on WNN 1470, listening, we have been bringing you some critically important information on the war. The war. It's actually a war now in Israel against Gaza, against the Hamas organization. We'll get into defining that in a moment and show you how it's going to spread around the Middle East and can get very, very nasty. During the break, I heard that Iran is very close to increasing more production of 20% grade nuclear material, and it surprised the IAEA. So there's a little fun thing going on there. But we also have breaking news coming out of Port St. Lucie County.
St. Lucie County.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Allen West continuing saga. Do we have Roger with us? Hello.
CJ and everyone. Okay, Mark, I am here.
Hi, Roger. How's it going today?
Well, my throat's a little bit raw, okay, from all of our chanting and howling outside the courthouse. But I can let you know what's going on. First, I'm trying to recuperate. I can't believe we don't have Twinkies. I don't want to go back to that. Okay. Yeah, we continue the Allen West saga continues to get just crazier and crazier. Okay, a judge today, as I understand it, when I left, they had not yet made a decision, but I'm finding out now that the judge has denied Allen West's request for a recount. Okay, and that makes no sense. Okay, truly, it makes no sense because they did a limited recount from November 1st to November 3rd. Okay, and that limited recount resulted in 132 votes additional for Allen West, and it reduced the count for Murphy by 667, if I have the numbers correctly, and I understand this. Okay, so the recount, really changed the figures considerably, and that's an extremely limited recount that they did, only from November 1st to November 3rd. So the variance, though, falls outside. There's a 0.5% margin that's needed to have an automatic recount. The margin of error now is at 0.58. So because of 0.08%, if I understand it all correctly, Allen West is being denied his motion for a recount because of 0.08% falling outside of that margin, based on a limited recount from November 1st to November 3rd. All right, so it's just insanity, okay, as to what's going on, okay? It makes no sense. Those people that are in the street, okay, and when I say in the street, I'm talking about activists that, like myself and hundreds and hundreds of other people that are actually out there. We get a pretty good feel for the pulse of the people, all right? And Allen West has got the support of the people unquestionably. There's just more people that support him than people that don't. The people that were supporting him today, the numbers, I didn't do a physical head count. I estimate the people were somewhere between 75 and 100 people in support. 15 people across the street that were opposing this recount. Okay, so it just makes no sense. Allen West's campaign raised $17 million through October, and Murphy brought in $3.7 million. So West had all of the money. Okay, and everyone says that if you got the money, you win the campaign. So West had the money. He's apparently got all of the support of the people, and then magically he loses the vote count. And we couple that with all of the stories that there are about voter fraud that going on in this country this year during this election. Romney in 58 counties in Ohio, didn't get one single vote in 58 counties. That's dedication, boy. Let me tell you, that not one crazy person voted for Romney out of 58 counties there. So I would think that that's sufficient to show that there's voter fraud going on. You can't get 10 people in a room and get them to agree on something, yet you can get 58 entire counties to go 100% in favor of Obama. Not one person voted for Romney. So with an indication of voter fraud like that, and West raising $17 million and Murphy raising hardly anything by comparison, $3.7 million, and the numbers that they do a quick recount from November 1st to November 3rd showing that Murphy gains 130, I beg your pardon, West gains 132 votes, and Murphy loses 667. You extrapolate that out by the end. If you did a complete vote recount, I think that Murphy would lose and West would obviously win. So
well, here's an article that just came out. It says that once the judge rejected the motion for a recount, they kicked it to the canvassing board, which was meeting today at 4 o'clock, which is an hour and 20 minutes ago, and the decision was up to the canvassing board as to whether or not do a partial recount, a full recount, a modified recount. Do you have any idea where that board is in their decision-making process?
I do not, because I was on the road coming back to where I live. Okay, I'm in Brevard, not St. Lucie, so
Yeah.
I was traveling back.
Do you have
But when
anybody
we
up
left-
there that we can call? Do you know anybody you can call if we can find out what the board did? Because the decision could be there could be a decision as of right now.
There could be. Okay, I think I might be able to reach someone that is probably they intended on staying there, and I might be able to reach that person. So if you want to put me on hold or something,
We'll put you on hold, and it says very simply, it says the decision will be left up to the county's canvassing board, which meets today at 4 p.m. So why don't you track it down?
There was a meeting at 4. So I believe some people were staying. I was not able to stay. So I left.
You
and
track
that's
that
why
down.
I'm
We're going to put
catching up, but-
we're going to put you on hold. You
Yeah,
track
I'll
that
check-
down, and then you come back in.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Okay, that's Roger up in Brevard County. Drove south to Port St. Lucie County to the city of Fort Pierce, and right now it's 5:22 on the East Coast. I know this is a national story. It's playing on many of the national cable networks, the Allen West saga. We're trying to get you the answer. Do we have an answer?
We have they're still waiting on the canvassing board to make the decision. Dave DiCrescenzo is there on site,
Oh, perfect.
waiting for the canvassing board to make their final decision. Now, also,
Is he going to call us?
he's going to call as soon
as
as he knows. Before we get off air, he's going to try to let us know, give us an update. And also, is there anything in the article about Allen West actually paying for a recount?
Yes. Yeah, what it says is that if the canvassing board denies Allen West's motion for a recount, then the candidate can still file, let's see, specifically a statute, is a Florida statute allows the candidate to contest an election within 10 days of the final certification, which is on Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, I think it's the 20th, that's the certification day.
That's the state certification day.
Yeah.
The county, the individual counties are required to turn their certifications into the state on Sunday.
No, this says this is saying that whatever date, this is indicating that it's the Tuesday.
Yeah, after the county senses what CJ
After
said.
the count,
The
the county.
county's got to certify it, then the state's going to certify it.
Right.
Yeah, and then he has 10 days after that. So to the 30th of November, he
Right.
can contest the election.
Right.
I think at that point, I don't know. I don't know what the law says. He's contesting it. I don't know if he has to pay for the.
Yeah, he does. From what I've heard in the past,
Yeah.
it falls onto his pocketbook to pay for it.
Well,
Yeah.
but he's not asking for a recount. He's contesting it based upon evidentiary information. So it would be a matter of law to say whether or not he's accurate. Maybe he has evidence that there was fraud. Now, wait, it goes on further. But Murphy's attorney said that if the canvassing board today grants any sort of recount, they're filing a lawsuit against the county saying, no, you can't do that. So this thing is not over, folks. It is not over.
So again, Murphy doesn't actually want anyone to know what the real votes cast in his race were.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Just recount the votes and match them to the names. It isn't a million votes.
You know what this reminds
it's
me a lot
120,000
of?
votes.
This reminds me a lot of that Senate race in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, a couple of years back,
Franken,
Al
yeah.
Franken and Norm Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a scam that was.
Yeah, that one actually went to an automatic recount, and
Yeah.
but then this has an additional
But then it
step
went
to it.
back and forth. I mean, that race was up in question for 8 months.
Yep.
Yes, 8 months.
8 months, yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, and by the way, La Raza has just launched rockets at Allen West campaign, and I'm sorry.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you want to check out what La Raza really is all about, just watch them in action on May Day,
oh yeah,
because they are out in full force on May Day, International Day for Communists. They are out in force.
They're good people. They're good.
Yeah,
They're misunderstood.
Good people. Yeah, actually, the Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor.
oh,
Yeah,
she's one of them,
she's
isn't
one
she?
of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's on the
Yeah.
board. Yeah.
That's right. She's a La
Yeah,
Raza.
she's definitely a member of the race.
The
Yeah.
race.
Well, we're
So,
supposed
So
to have
lots
race
of
relations.
fun things going to come up for you with the Supreme Court.
Race relations supposed to be better now. That
well, I
Why
mean,
can't we all just get along?
our purpose at 27 minutes past 5 o'clock on the East Coast in Florida on Trento Vision and WNN. Our purpose is to truly alert America, our listeners, our viewers, to this powder keg in the Middle East right now, which is the Israeli invasion of the Gaza Strip to attack the political body running the Palestinians, the political body elected democratically, called the Hamas, the Islamic Resistance Movement. And this is critically important because as we have developed here, the Islamic Jihad, a worldwide movement to, now this sounds like a crazy movie, but this is indeed what's going on. The Islamic Jihad is a worldwide movement comprised of Muslims from 1.3 billion population, 56 different countries, Islamic countries, Muslims desiring,
Plus
and
the Palestinians.
that's the 57th,
Yeah.
and the desiring, not only desiring, but it's a mandate for Muslims. It's a theological and political mandate to establish Sharia law where you live, and then to move out from there, and then capture and gain. That's what these jihads are all about. More and more land, establishing Sharia law through conversion of people primarily. You invite them to accept Islam. So when you saw Osama bin Laden in 1998 declaring war on the United States, he first invited America to accept Islam. We didn't, and he declared war, and he knocked down a couple of buildings, and we're still in that war. Well, the Islamic protocol is to invite people to Islam. If they accept and convert, great, they become a Muslim. If not, see, Islam is not just a theological system. In fact, that's a small part of it. It's a political system. That's the best way to understand this. If the individual or the group of people that is being invited into Islam rejects, they go, no, we're not interested in this. We like being Italian or German or whatever. Well, if you're conquering them, then they really can't be an enemy of the state. They can't go against the political elements of Islam. So you go, sorry guys, you don't have that option of not doing it. But what we'll do, we'll let you kind of not do it. But you're going to have to be a sort of a second-class citizen, all right? We'll let you live in your own little ridiculous religion, whatever you want. But, and then there's a whole bunch of laws that you have to follow which make you a second-class citizen because the supreme view is Islam. Now, if you refuse to be converted and refuse to be subjugated, then you have to be deathagated, okay? And it makes sense. You have to die because otherwise you're committing treason within the state of Islam. And so you have to be killed. Once a Muslim goes into land and occupies it and brings the truth of Allah there, that land for all time ever is Islamic land. If they get pushed out of it, it's a tremendous embarrassment. They have to fight their way back in. In the 700s, the Muslims, Islam moved into Israel and occupied, took over, pushed Jewish people out, though they still stayed, and conquered Jerusalem, conquered the Israeli area, and claimed the land for their own. In fact, if you go visit the old holy city, you will see the tomb of David, and what's right above the tomb?
A mosque.
The mosque is to the right a little bit, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Right above the tomb is the Golden Dome, and which is not really a mosque. It's a little technicality, but that was built in the late 600s, claiming the land of Jerusalem. Now, why do you think the Crusades were fought? The Crusaders, the Christians, said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Muslims don't own Jerusalem. They can't control it. That's holy land for Christianity. It was Jewish land. That's holy land for Christianity. We'll go there and expel the Muslims from there. And then we have 400 years of the various crusades. Well, the Muslims still believe that Jerusalem and all of that land is owned by Allah and by Islam, and the Jews are there illegally. We're going to read from a document in a minute that proves Hamas's understanding of this, which is why there's a war going on right now. How about that? I got to drink a little bit of water. The frog is taking over my throat.
Uh-oh. Pick it up, Mark.
Well, we actually have the Hamas covenant, which Tom is going to be reading from.
Or you.
Or me, I'm going to be reading from. Since Tom's got a
Or
frog
me
stuff.
if you want to give it to me, but maybe
And just,
not
just to put
Tom.
this all in perspective, this covenant that they have, this is their constitution in essence. This is their founding principles, who they are, who they declare themselves as a people. Like we have our constitution, we say, freedom of speech, or, First Amendment, right to bear arms, Second Amendment, and all the way down the list. Well, the Hamas, has a little bit different view of things. They first state that the Islamic.
Wait, let me.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I want to go through this. But before that, we want to tell you when the Hamas came into existence. The Hamas now. Now, get the geography right. There's the Gaza Strip that's been there a long time, 21 miles long, goes down to Egypt, then north from Egypt, and it goes in and out 3 miles to 8 miles, about 2 million people in there. Within that area, in 1987, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, remember him? The guy I think he was in a wheelchair. He had a big white beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the spiritual leader of this movement. I think he had one of those Predator missiles fall on his head inadvertently.
Yeah, something like that.
He was zapped out. He was the co-founder of the Hamas Charter, along with, guess what wonderful brotherhood group?
The Muslim Brotherhood.
The Muslim Brotherhood.
They actually stated in their charter, which we have on the screen right now.
They needed to form a movement within this group of 2 million people that would articulate the principles of Sharia law. So they formed an organization in 1987, not that long ago. And what do you do when you form an organization? You write a covenant, you write a constitution. We're going to just pull a couple of points out. It's really fascinating reading for our viewers and listeners.
Well, just to prove that they are a wing of the Muslim Brotherhood, because I hear this all the time. Well, they actually say it in the covenant, in the Article 2 of the covenant. It says the Islamic movement is one of the wings of the Muslim Brotherhood of Palestine. So there you go.
Well, yeah, I'll read it. Article 2, I'll read it exactly as it's written. the Islamic Resistance Movement. Now, in Arabic, if you take Islamic Resistance Movement and take letters, the initials that signify that or symbolize that, the letters are HAMAS, Hamas. So it's always a definite article, the way it should be pronounced. The Hamas, because it's the Islamic Resistance Movement. So Hamas is the short name, the acronym for the Islamic Resistance Movement. Islamic Resistance Movement, what are they resisting? It goes on to say, the Islamic Resistance Movement is one of the wings of the Muslim Brotherhood in Palestine. The Muslim Brotherhood movement is a universal organization which constitutes the largest Islamic movement in modern times. This is written, what year, kiddies?
Well, this is actually written in 1988, the charter.
This is written a little bit later, 88, but 88, 98, 2008, 24 years later, we have the Muslim Brotherhood, which were underground in Egypt, now running Egypt. So this was written, the largest Islamic movement in modern times that is characterized by its deep understanding, accurate comprehension, and its complete embrace of all Islamic aspects of life, culture, creed, politics, economics, education, society, justice, judgment, the spreading of Islam, education, art, information, science of the occult, and conversion to Islam.
Whew.
I love the science of the occult part. That's just the fun one there.
Does
Yeah.
everybody get this? This constitution of the group of people that are the target tonight of the Israeli Defense Forces and the Israeli Air Forces, where men and women on both sides are going to die tonight, tomorrow, and the next night, fighting. The constitution of one of the combatants simply says we are fully and completely Islamic, and we are the Muslim Brotherhood. We are the Hamas. Critically important to understand that.
Now, also, back in 1988, you have to remember, everybody thought the Muslim Brotherhood was some, no-name organization, had no power, was just some kind of conspiracy organization. And over the years, we've all been hammering, and especially after 2001, that's when it all started to come to fruition.
All right,
well,
now,
actually, people people really started to become aware of them in 1981 because they were responsible for the assassination of Anwar Sadat.
Right. And that's the reason that...
And why did they assassinate Sadat?
Because he's against the Muslim Brotherhood, and he was against
And because
Qutb and all
he
that.
signed the peace treaty with Israel.
That's right.
that's a good way to die.
Yeah.
All right, now follow this. The Hamas, which is in the news right now, you can't turn on a TV or open a newspaper without seeing what's going on in Israel. And our president, if you voted for him or you didn't, our president is going to be weighing in on this. Very important. Listen to this. Reading from the Hamas Constitution. It's okay.
I know.
It is comical.
It is.
And sadly comical.
Yeah.
And this is, they have a little opening paragraph, and then they start right into it. Their first key point is what you read earlier, but I'll read it with a little bit of emphasis here. Israel will exist and will continue to exist. Hey, happy day.
Yeah, really, good.
Oh, wait, there's more. I forgot. Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it. I wonder how long they struggled over the word obliterate.
Well, they didn't have to struggle over the word at all because they actually copied it from Hassan al-Banna.
I could see the meeting. Okay, Brother Muhammad, what do we say? We will destroy them. No, that's too no. We will beat them to hell. No. We will, how about obliterate? Obliterate! Yes, Muhammad, a good word. We put that in. Israel will exist and continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it has obliterated others before it. And then they cite the martyr Imam Hassan al-Banna of blessed memory, the founder of the Brotherhood, the Muslim Brotherhood. Not only does the Constitution say that Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood, Not only does the Palestinians say that, but the United States federal government also said that in the Holy Land decision of a couple of years ago, Holy Land Foundation, where we told you we're getting pictures from the Holy Land mosque of the Muslims lining up their cars for the Day of Rage in Richardson, Texas. But the United States government concluded that Hamas is a branch of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Now, one small correction, Tom. That's
What's that?
actually a quote from Hassan al-Banna back in the 1930s when he actually said that.
Yep,
They actually took that and just wrote that for verbatim. They're citing him,
And they put
it as a citation for him.
Yeah, they put it in of blessed memory. In the memory of our martyr, we are going to put what his view is right in the beginning of what we're all about. How the hell do you have peace with a group of people that are committed to your obliteration? Some diplomat coming out of Foggy Bottom or coming out of George Washington University with your PhD in international relations. Tell me how you make peace, oh wise one. Tell me how you make peace when a group of people, and I'll tell you what their answer is when we debate these folks, have in their opening statement that they exist, their purpose is to obliterate their peace partner. How does that work? Well, when we challenge Muslims in debates to this, they go, oh, nobody believes that anymore.
Right.
Oh, we don't use that thing anymore.
Right. And you don't hear them saying it when they're speaking to an English audience or to a European audience.
Well, here's the other thing I have all the time is like, oh, no. The Hamas is nothing to do with the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay. They say they are inside their document. They quote the founder from their document, and then inside their document itself, they give the motto, which is
the motto.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was a segue.
A segue. Okay. I'll read it exactly as they have it. It's
Article 8.
This is the motto of the Brotherhood and the motto of Hamas. Article 8 in the Constitution, for those of you watching, it's in this little red pamphlet here. It says that Allah is its target. This is the slogan of the Islamic resistance movement, the slogan of Hamas. Allah is Hamas's target. The Prophet is Hamas's model. The Quran is Hamas's constitution. Jihad is Hamas's path. And death for the sake of Allah is the loftiest of Hamas's wishes. Death for the sake of Allah.
Now, that also happens to be the same motto of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt.
Surprise, surprise! Okay,
Today,
now
2012.
Now we make a transition to the geopolitics of the moment. We just laid out the fundamental philosophical and what?
You're missing one key one, and that's the day of judgment shall come.
Well, there's a million, but I'm watching the clock here.
They kill every Jew wherever they find them.
Yeah. It's just
I know, just a side thing. Side thing.
Just kill the Jews wherever you find them. The critical thing to understand in light of the current news.
This is a constitutional democracy, and this is our future allies, right?
Just in our document, we're going to kill the Jews wherever we find them. That's okay.
But the segue here in the Constitution of Hamas to how it affects you right now living at home here in the United States. This is the critical teaching moment for you guys, okay? Tom Trento, CJ, Mark, Mike, Blake, all of us here, 44 minutes after 5 o'clock. We want to leave you with this Shabbat thought, okay? As you go into a day of rest, and as Christians go into their day of rest on Sunday, and as Unitarians go into their cone of silence, cone of interfaith
cone
wonder,
of football.
Cone of football. We want you to have a pair of glasses by which you watch the news and read the newspapers regarding this war, because the immediate knee-jerk reaction is going to be to blame Israel, and it would be to the deficit of the United States of America if we do not fully, completely, and fundamentally support Israel in its mission to devastate and destroy the Hamas once and for all. That's why Howard Tevlovitz told us that he was in contact with the Homeland Security in Israel, and they told everybody to get ready for a 7-week battle. Have supplies and be ready to exist in your home for 7 weeks. If we, the West and the United States, do not support Israel in this pivotal mission against terrorists within their land, it's to our national security detriment on 2 levels. One, the jihadis that want to kill us will continue to live, and the goal is to kill the enemy who wants to kill you before they kill you, kill them first in those lands where they're firing missiles. And number 2, from a theological position, unless they're fully devastated, the Islamic mind believes that Allah has blessed them if there's any capability of fight left, and that they will continue to fight even more. They have to be devastated. Then they go, Allah is judging us. We'll take a step back until we rebuild. So you have to fight according to the mindset of the belief of the enemy. This is where this administration fails and doesn't understand this. But watch why the enemy is fighting. And the enemy, in this case, is the Hamas. It's a designated terrorist organization by the U.S. State Department. Not our friends, okay? Now, the Palestinians that live within there may be very wonderful people, and there are. We're talking about the government of the Palestinians, and sadly, in warfare, collateral damage because of the culpability of your government falls upon the just and the unjust. Many innocent people may be killed, but they're not innocent in the sense of their government, duly elected by them, is an enemy of the state of the United States and an enemy of Israel. And if the enemy attacks and the United States or Israel responds and innocent people die, that's part of warfare. Listen to why they're fighting. It's under their strategies and methods. Article 11. Hamas believes that the land of Palestine is an Islamic waqf. W-A-Q-F. Waqf. Waqf. Once again, Hamas believes that the land of Palestine, that means Israel, is an Islamic waqf. Okay, what is a waqf? Consecrated for future Muslim generations until Judgment Day, until the Imam's return, the 12th Imam. It, or any part of it, should not be squandered. That means the land of Palestine. It or any part of it should not be given up. Neither a single Arab country nor all Arab countries, neither any king or president, neither all kings or president, neither any organization, nor all of them, be they Palestinian or Arab, possesses the right to do that. Palestine. They're saying, we don't care what the other Arabs say about whether or not Israel is an Islamic waqf. It is. Palestine is an Islamic waqf. Land consecrated for Muslim generations until Judgment Day. This being so, who could claim to have the right to represent Muslim generations until Judgment Day? This is the law governing the land of Palestine in the Islamic Sharia law, and the same goes for any land Muslims have conquered by force until the day of judgment. It's called sacred space. Because the Muslims had that land at one point, they're obligated by God, by Allah, to always keep it. The Jews are there. They will fight the Jews until Judgment Day. Israel has to go in and obliterate the Hamas right now.
Well, it's quite interesting. You know, those are right out of the words of the writings of Hassan al-Banna. I mean, when you read his writings, it's the same exact wording that he said back in the 1920s and 30s. And also, who declared, and this is very important to all our liberal Jewish friends out there, who declared Hamas as a designated terrorist organization? Which president? The wonderful, glorious Bill Clinton.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Is there any reason why you're singling out a particular group in this instance?
Yeah, because the ones who idolized Bill Clinton.
Listen to this.
the ones who idolized Bill Clinton on this part, the ones who were supported Barack Obama at this time, okay, the uber leftist people, Bill Clinton cited these people as terrorists.
He made a very good decision.
Yeah.
And for anyone who respects Bill Clinton, you gotta respect this decision. I'll read one more piece here, and then we'll close the book on the Hamas and get back to finding out what's going on with Alan West. This is 20 pages. This thing's getting me
At least
upset.
it's the highlights.
There's 20 pages here. I'm reading two pages. But let me finish with this little thought. This is only on page 8. There is no solution. This is the Hamas Constitution, folks. At 5:51 on a Friday, we want you to go home all weekend with this thought. The Hamas, the target of Israel right now that you're going to see over the weekend, the Hamas says there is no solution for the Palestinian question except through jihad. I'll read that again. There is no solution for the Palestinian question except through jihad. Initiatives, proposals, and international conferences are a waste of time and vain endeavors. The Palestinian people know better than to consent to have their future, their rights, their faith toyed with. They will fight until they die. Okay. The Hamas. Keep your eye on them. Dave D., are you there? Dave D. Dave D. Dave D. Dave D.
We lost him. He's not there.
Dave D.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi,
Oh, okay,
speak
okay,
up, my
okay.
friend.
It's hiding on us.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, how's your day?
Well, not bad. It's been long. I wish I had some kind of breaking news for you, but right now I've been holding a vigil with about 3 dozen other people up here at the SOE in St. Lucie County, and they're shuffling, it looks like, the same ballots for the last 2 hours, and they're writing on them, and everybody's scrutinizing them, but they haven't come up with a decision yet. And I know you know what happened at the courthouse today, so we're basically waiting for the
canvassing board?
the canvassing board to make the decision as to what they're going to do from this point. But so far, they're not doing anything but shuffling paperwork.
So where does the canvassing board meet?
In the supervisor of elections office.
So if they had made their conclusions and you're right there, you would know because you're right outside the room?
Yeah, well, I stepped outside the building just for this phone call, but yeah, I've been in that room since I don't know, almost 3 hours now.
So they've been in there. They've been meeting since 4 o'clock. It's almost 2 hours.
Well, yeah, they've been in there for 2 hours, and I've asked several people that were even closer to them than I was with my camera, and I said, what's taking so long? And they were all like, I don't know. It's like they're trying to wear us down so we get tired and leave or something. I don't know really what the deal is, but it's annoying to say the
They
least.
probably want to make sure that there's no time to get it on the 6 o'clock news.
Could be. Could very well be, because I know some of the camera guys out here did their 5 o'clock shots with basically the kind of information I'm giving you. It's like, the news is we got no news.
Well,
Okay.
no news is good news right now.
I suppose, yeah.
Better than the bad news you've been getting.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I can tell you for sure, no matter what, if it's goes into the wee hours of tomorrow, I'm not leaving here until I know what the hell's going on.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
man. That's our
Well,
guy.
I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to run the clock out and do this as a 9 o'clock decision, hoping everybody goes home and then it gets buried and the story gets buried until Monday.
Right.
Right. Well, I tell you what, the rest of them may leave, but I'm going to stay here, and this thing is going to get posted when I get back to my office when they're done. I don't care how long it takes.
They don't know who they're messing with, Dave D. Hey, thank you, Dave D.
right.
We got to get going. We'll talk to you over the weekend with breaking news, and then we'll have you back on Monday to put it all together, okay?
Thanks,
Sounds
Dave.
like
Have a
plan to
good
me.
weekend.
Have a great weekend, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take it
Thanks
easy,
for
man.
everything
A
this
roving
week.
reporter, Dave D.
Really appreciate it. That's thepatriotspress.com.
He's done a great job.
Yeah.
He really has. Well, guys, you got about 30 seconds each to wrap it up for this wild and wacky week and get ready for scary stuff over the weekend.
Well, my 30 seconds is Hamas is a terrorist organization designated by Bill Clinton, of all people. He's right. They are a terrorist organization. What do you do with terrorist organizations? what we do over in Afghanistan. We get rid of them. Yet they are the elected government of Gaza. So why are we even hesitating not getting rid of this government?
Why are we giving this government money?
Yeah.
CJ?
I don't know. Why are we giving this government money? I don't know. One thing I just
a
we
closing
didn't get
thought.
Yeah, we just did. We didn't get a chance to talk about it today, but when General Petraeus did his testimony today, he made it very clear that that his talking points were redacted. And references
Somebody
to
change that.
references to Al Qaeda were taken out of his talking points that were submitted to the other agencies and then went to the White
Okay.
House.
5 seconds.
All right, we can't.
Why is the Muslim Brotherhood not a designated terrorist organization like Hamas?
Yeah, very good question. And
That is a good question.
we have a lot of stuff to do next week. We didn't even get into Benghazi Gate. We didn't even really get into this stuff.
I know.
But
I just wanted to drop
folks,
that in there.
the issue is right now the flashpoint in the Middle East, Israel and Hamas. Please understand this is a terrorist organization. Israel has to go in and destroy this terrorist organization that impacts every one of you in the United States of America. Thank you. God bless America. Goodbye from all of us. We'll see you on Monday.
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, you now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533, or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. Thanks for tuning in to Trento Vision.